Well, Josh, we have a lot to talk about. We want to welcome back Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul to cover some of the topics for us. There she is. All right. Good evening again. Thanks so much for being here.
Good evening. Happy to be back. Thank you.
Yes. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, New York State seeing its lowest daily coronavirus death toll so far. We'll get into that first. Central New York also seeing numbers trend down. So what's your assessment as so many more people are eager to see many more restrictions eased?
You know, this is phenomenal progress, and we've been monitoring the health data just so vigilantly to make sure that we do everything right. We've been following the metrics, the data, the science to make sure that when we do reopen, and we've wanted to reopen for a long time, that we do it in a smart way. So that's why Central New York is in the middle of phase 2, and phase 3 is right around the corner. That will be all restaurants. But the very positive news was that we can now have outdoor dining even as early as today. So this is going to be really important to get people back to work, to allow the restaurants who've lost a lot of revenue over the last couple of months to start recouping it, especially as the weather's been really nice lately, and to really help the local communities that have these restaurants. So this has been a tremendously positive development that was just announced by the governor and myself yesterday.
It is a positive development, no doubt about that, but it was somewhat confusing. The outdoor seating for restaurants, as you mentioned, was approved, began today in Syracuse, but it took time for restaurants to receive that approval and the guidance. So, I mean, is that the way it's going to be, just sudden announcements?
Well, the alternative is to wait 2 more weeks, or wait another week and a half. And so I think when you're looking at the fact that a lot of these restaurants have been anticipating this, they thought they'd have to prepare for phase 3, but it's been very simple. They've known all along they'd have to create an environment where the people are 6 feet apart, that there's plenty of people, all the staff is wearing masks, that there's a lot of disinfecting going on. So what I've been encouraging businesses to do from the very beginning is look at phase 1 and phase 2 guidance, and that's going to be a real barometer of what you're going to be expected to do. So I don't think there's surprises, yes, on the timing, but hopefully it's viewed as a pleasant surprise that it's not longer than phase 3, it's actually earlier, phase 2.5, if you will.
Date on phase 3 and what businesses will be included in that?
Phase 3 is restaurants. And that is very exciting to know that all indoor eating will be allowed. Again, patrons need to expect that there'll be some changes. There'll be more spacing between the tables. And for example, there will be not traditional menus, but paper menus that are disposable, always trying to reduce the risk of exposure to the virus that could be on surfaces. And intensive disinfecting will have to go on in between patrons. And so a lot of work will have to be done. The restaurant owners are doing exactly what they've asked us that they're willing to do. I've been in contact with the national and state and local restaurant associations from the very beginning, and they've recommended many of these best practices so people feel confident when they leave their homes after being sequestered for such a long time and protecting their own health and their family's health, that when they start coming out, that they won't run the risk of having the virus by simply going out to a restaurant. We need to protect public health and the confidence of the community.
Do you have a date for phase 3?
That is, Lily, in this region, it could be as early as next Friday.
All right.
So
well,
I don't make any guarantees anymore. It's up to the people. Keep wearing the mask to make sure we get to phase 3.
And let's talk about the nationwide protests over George Floyd's death. And there are calls for police reform, such as banning excessive abuse and disclosing disciplinary actions. Is that going to happen in New York State? What are you doing to address the concerns?
These are very legitimate concerns, and it's a disgrace that it took this long for this to come to the forefront, but it does have the nation's attention now because of what happened to George Floyd. And so tragically, those images are seared in our mind to see how devastating that this community has been affected by discrimination and systemic racism. So this is our call to action. And I'm proud of the legislators, and I'm proud of our governor and our state government for saying that we will make sure that these reforms are enacted, and to ban excessive force, and to make sure that there's independent investigations. And we have that in New York. The rest of the nation needs to follow some of the initiatives we've already had in New York State, where someone dies at the hands of a police officer. It is not the district attorney that's going to investigate. When you think about the close relationship that the district attorney has with the police department, even the appearance of impropriety or the appearance of not being able to be impartial is important. So we have independent investigators, but also the police records. If someone's under investigation for abuse, Yes, we have a right to know if there's been a pattern of this behavior, as we saw with the individuals that have been arrested for the death and murder of Mr. Floyd. So we have that in New York State, but these should be nationwide policies, that your ability to live or die is not based on the law of the state that you're in, that this is universal across the entire nation.
All right, Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, thank you so much for joining us, and we will continue to follow up with you.